What's up, everybody? And today we're reacting to crazy military training exercises. Someone sent me this and said you should watch some of this. They did say that you may have seen a couple of them already, but there's a special surprise he said in it. So I'm excited to see. My presumption is a special surprise would be the Royal Marines in it. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping there's some Royal Marine stuff in there. Anyway, before we get started, check out DREADNOUGHT MEADERY, my new project with my brother. If you haven't already, link down in the description. Other than that, let's shut our mouths and let's watch this video.
How do people go from being normal, everyday civilians to stone-cold killing machines? Well, it's all thanks to extreme, elite military training. Welcome back, Charlie here. Today we'll look at some insane things soldiers have to go through to become elite special forces.
Nice.
From playing hot
Because eating animals like scorpions is gonna make you into special forces.
potato with a live grenade, to breaking bricks set on fire with their heads.
Nice.
The first training exercise we'll look at is named Hand Grenade Hot Potato. We've all played the game Hot Potato.
This doesn't make you a better soldier. This just potentially kills you.
Players gather in a circle and toss an object to one another while music plays. The player holding the object when the music stops is eliminated.
It's
in
blown
China,
up by
they
a grenade.
do this as part of military training, but instead of using a potato, they use a live hand grenade. This means that if you're holding the grenade,
There's no way that's real. I refuse to believe that's
when
real.
the music ends, you don't just lose the game, you lose your life as well.
I refuse to
when the
believe
music
it.
stops, the last soldier holding the grenade has to throw it into a pit. If they don't, then they would be blown up. This is an incredibly extreme and high-stakes game. The Chinese military do this to help soldiers cope under pressure.
I refuse to believe it's real. I really do.
Thankfully, in leaked videos of this, no soldiers were ever hurt. But I wonder if any slow soldiers have ever been blown up while playing this game. It now makes sense why so many US politicians are voicing their concerns about China's military. If they can cope with the pressure of having a live grenade in their hand, then I'm sure they
I think it's not so much if they can cope, it's more of a if the Chinese government are willing to put their soldiers that are in training in that much risk, then they must have a lot of soldiers.
can cope in a war zone. But elite special forces can't just be good under pressure.
True.
They also have to be incredibly tough. That's why one training exercise involves breaking concrete on their heads. This is done.
Yeah, when I was in the Royal Marines, I had to break a lot of concrete with my head. It made me a better soldier in general, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons doing it.
In China and in South Korea. You may think, why would a soldier need to smash bricks over their heads? Well, part of it is copying techniques from monks.
I just want to see that guy run into the air and break one with his head again.
Their heads. Well, part
Oh,
of
where
it
is
is
it? Where is it?
copying
Where is it? Let's see it again.
in China and in South Korea. You may think,
go.
why would a soldier need to
Let's
smash
go.
bricks over their heads? Well, part of it is copying techniques from monks. Monks are able to master pain. That way, if soldiers are hurt in the battlefield, they won't even react. And many believe it's also partly just for show.
It's
Chinese
100,000,000% for show.
and South Korean militaries do this to show they're tough as nails. It also scares and intimidates their enemy.
It doesn't.
Just imagine going into a war zone with people who break bricks over their heads in
If they were doing that in front of me, I'd be like, these fucking idiots. Why are they doing that? It doesn't intimidate me. Now I'm fighting someone with a concussion, and I have the upper hand.
training. The Chinese army is famous for their martial arts presentations, showing that even without a weapon, they could defeat almost any army in the world. Now, let's look at
The martial arts stuff's more impressive than the brick breaking is just not impressive in my opinion.
military
We've seen this. US military soldiers eating snakes. We've seen this on the channel before.
training exercise, which is just plain weird. The exercise is known as Cobra Gold. Allied militaries from many countries participate. The military exercises are held in Thailand, but armies from South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, and the USA are all involved. During the exercise, US troops drink cobra blood. The exercise also has an underwater assault course.
It's not so much that they're drinking the blood, that's just for the fun of it, but they're learning survival skills in jungle warfare, which is actually really, really important.
A landmine destruction course, and many firearms exercises. But the most famous and scary event is the Cobra Blood Drink. Troops literally drink blood from a cobra's mouth. Cobras are one of the most venomous snakes in the world. But to become elite, troops must complete this activity. You may be wondering, why do they even do this? Well, it's all about learning how to survive in the wild.
The idea of the drinking the blood in that particular part is just a gimmick. It's a bit of a ritual thing, right? It's a fun thing that they're probably all sat there throughout the whole presentation thinking, at any moment we're gonna start drinking, we're gonna do this. And there's always things like that in the military, right? There is an aspect of, yes, you would drink the blood if you were in a survival exercise because you would need that extra water and all these other things. But the idea of doing it there during the presentation is a bit of a gimmick at this point. And when you go to Thailand to do the training, my presumption is you know that that's going to appear and everyone's probably a little excited for it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a different thing to do.
Troops are taught how to eat jungle plants and insects. But when there are no edible plants or insects, you may have to drink cobra blood. Yeah. Sometimes soldiers even eat geckos and scorpions during this training. The exercise is overseen by a Royal Thai military general. They explain to the US troops that drinking cobra blood is a good replacement for water if there's none around.
Exactly.
It may sound extreme and scary, but it may save a soldier's life in the jungle. Yeah. Even some hardcore Marines have to shut their eyes when doing this. It's just way too scary to be that close to a live cobra snake.
It's not scary, and it's not live, it's dead. That's why you're drinking its blood.
If you were stuck in the jungle, what would you do? Perish from dehydration or drink cobra blood?
Obviously you would.
Now let's move on to...
But you just don't want to be close enough to a cobra to have to do that, though. You'd rather find other means for water. Do you know what I mean?
An even more dangerous military training exercise. This exercise is carried out by the Russian military. The Russian military is known for being incredibly tough. Russia's most elite...
They're incredibly tough. They just unfortunately don't have... Well, you say unfortunate. Not unfortunate for Ukrainians and not unfortunate for us Westerners. Very fortunately for our Westerners, they don't have good gear. They infamously have expired gear and bad gear, and that's why Ukraine are dominating them and why the Western world aren't as worried about them as people think we should be. They just don't have the good gear. They're good soldiers, just don't have good gear. Benefits the Western world, doesn't it?
Special force is known as the Spetsnaz unit, and during their training they shoot each other in the chest. The trainees wear body armor, while their commanders shoot them center mass. This is to give them confidence in a terrorist-controlled situation. Bullets may be flying by their heads and they need to get used to this. Take a look at this FSB operator not even flinching as bullets hit his chest. In another exercise, trainees have to return fire. They need to shoot at each other's heads, but just narrowly miss their unprotected faces. In another drill, a trainee has to shoot at targets, but while he's doing this, his trainers push him and shout in his ear. They also fire bullets right next to his ear. This is to simulate a real-life combat situation where bullets may be going off all around you.
Yeah, I mean, as long as that's in a controlled environment, at the end of the day, these are special forces, then it's probably going to benefit them having people put their hand in front of their eyes for a second or shoot behind their head so that they've got that loud bang behind them and get that feeling. And it is trying to assimilate real-life tactics, and that's totally understandable. Again, the special forces for the Russia probably have good gear. But fortunately for the Western world, the rest of the soldiers don't have good gear, but they are tough as nails, the soldiers.
It's insanely stressful, but it does train them for the battlefield very well. But I think one of the most hardcore military units is the Philippine Navy SEALs. And that's because they have to go through what's known as Drunk Hell Week.
Drunk Hell Week? Sounds like a great time.
This is where they don't sleep for an entire week. Oh, they only get 1 hour of rest every day. The average human is supposed to sleep 63 hours per week. Yeah. But they only sleep for 7 hours during Drunk Hell Week. They also perform extreme exercises every day. They also have to run 6 miles without stopping and also do target practice as well. And to top...
I mean, the 6 miles without stopping isn't really that hard, is it? I can do that now. Look at the state of me. It's been a long time since I was in the Royal Marines.
all off, they have to swim 18 miles. But if you thought that
Swimming
was
18
hard,
miles is pretty
then
good.
they have to do this while intoxicated with alcohol. They have to drink lots of liquor all week long. This makes it hard for them to aim and exercise, and also makes their tiredness even worse. So you can see why they call it Drunk Hell Week.
It would be nuts doing that. That's legitimately nuts.
Anyone who passes out will not pass Hell Week, and will not make it into the Philippine Navy SEALs. Now let's look at a very scary military exercise involving fire. The military of Belarus is known for being very hardcore. Belarus is the last dictatorship in Europe, and their
Is it really? I did not know that.
military is known as being super tough. The Belarusian Special Forces have to do what's known as the Fire Walk. This is an assault course which has fire all over it. Sometimes they need to walk through the fire, and at other times break bricks set on fire using their heads. The Belarusian Special Forces have been involved in many
It didn't look like they were walking through fire then. It looked like it was just smoke with fire around it.
covert operations, including the assassination of opposition politicians. Another very feared military unit is the UK Royal Marines. The Royal
My boys!
Marines have to complete a 32-week training course. The worst part of this course is known as the mud run.
Okay. I've done 3 mud runs. 3. I did one with my original troop and then got injured. Did one in Hunter Company, right? Hunter 3 it was called at the time, which is like the part where you're getting fit after being injured to go back into a troop. And then when I went in a troop, I did another mud run. 3 mud runs. It is not the hardest part of training. In my opinion, the hardest part of training was Final X. The final exercise. That's the hardest part. I thought Final X was harder than the commando, the final tests, the 30-miler, all that lot. I thought Final X was the most difficult part, and the reason for that is you get to a point in training where if you can, everyone says this, if you can pass Final X, then you're probably going to pass the commando tests. Just the way it is. The only thing that's stopping you at that point is injury. I just remember yomping for like hours and hours and hours and hours and just seeing a fake horizon constantly, and it didn't stop. Must have been over like 12 hours, and it was just horrific. And then we had to get into a firefight, and then we had to do all this other stuff, and it was just survival X and all this other stuff. It was horrific. But it made us a good soldier.
They are exhausted and covered in terrible smelling mud. They have to run and crawl through 20 miles of mud. The mud is so thick they can barely move. They also have to lift very heavy logs in this mud. They have to do this as a team, which improves their strength and cohesion. Now let's look at one more.
Do you know what the hardest part about the mud run is? You finish the mud run, you go onto the bottom field, and they kind of roughly spray you off with water, but you're still pretty much horrifically dirty, right? They just get the most of it off you. They made us go back to our grots, our rooms, and they made us like crawl everywhere, go across the walls, jump on our beds, everything covered in mud. And then they're like, all right, you've got, I think it was like an hour and a half. You've got an hour and a half. Everything's got to be spotless, and you're going to have an inspection. That is difficult. That is incredibly difficult.
Or very scary military exercise. If you have a fear of drowning, this one will terrify you.
I've seen this.
This is done by the US Navy SEALs, and the exercise is known as drown-proofing. Drown-proofing is a crazy exercise. US Navy SEALs have their arms and legs tied. They're then pushed into a pool of water. Once in the water, they have to bob in the water for 5 minutes. They then have to float for 5 minutes and then swim for 100 meters, all while their legs and arms are tied. They then have to dive to the bottom of the pool to retrieve an object using just their teeth.
That's difficult.
But that's when things get really crazy. Their instructor then jumps into the pool and starts attacking them. This is to simulate combative drowning. If you weren't scared of drowning before this training, then you will be now. You can see why the Navy SEALs only have a 9.5% pass rate. But
9.5% is pretty high. There was a Royal Marine advert a long time ago that said 99.99% need not apply, which meant that 0.01% pass, which is pretty crazy if you think about it.
But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment down below which
That was a good video. There will be a link down below to the original video. Go and check it out. It was fun. There was some stuff we already seen in there, some stuff that was pretty good and enjoyable, and I had a bit of a laugh with you. If you like the military style content, which I've not done in a while, but today is a military day, which is weird. It's supposed to be a horror day, but I'm playing Medal of Honor, and then there's a military reaction. Feels like the old days, doesn't it? Let me know if you enjoy that. Let me know by liking and commenting down below. Other than that, oh, check out DREADNOUGHT MEADERY in the description. Please do that. Until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.